All right, right now there's a big problem with Christianity as a whole, and this is a problem that's growing very rapidly, and it's affecting Christians of all denominations. It's affecting evangelicals, Protestants, Catholics, and I'm even seeing this affect my fellow Orthodox Christian brothers and sisters as well. And this is a problem that's growing very rapidly, and it's doing a lot of harm right now. It's doing harm to fellow Christians, it's doing harm to Christianity as a whole, and it's especially doing harm to non-believers looking at Christians from the outside in. You know, one beautiful thing right now in the age of social media is right now it is very popular to be very proud of being a Christian, you know, be very outspoken and expressive, and proud to, you know, wear the name of being a Christian. You know, in years past, recent years past, you know, is definitely not the cool thing to call yourself a Christian. You know, while there's always been amazing people that have been very proud of the faith, you know, a lot of people shied away from being kind of loud about their faith, and proud of calling themselves a Christians because they were, you know, scared of being ostracized, or, you know, things would be said, you know, don't be a Bible thumper. You know, it was definitely a thing that you should be a little bit more quiet, you know, about being a Christian. So one beautiful thing that's happening right now is Christians as a whole, across all denominations, are being very, very proud of being a Christian and kind of wearing it proudly. But with that comes with a very, very heavy weight. You know, if you're going to call yourself a Christian, you're going to call yourself a Christ follower, following the way, you're wearing the insignia of Christ, our King, Jesus Christ. You're wearing that insignia. You know, back in the day, you know, a knight wearing the insignia of his king, or a samurai, you know, representing his shogun. You know, they weren't going to dishonor their king, their shogun, you know, their leader. We have a heavier weight than that as Christians. You know, our King Jesus Christ. With that, we should be representing him well. That means how we talk to other people, how we walk, how we move about this world, everything we do. We should be acting as Christ followers, not just saying it, not just wearing it across our chest of I'm a Christ follower. If we're going to wear it across our chest, we absolutely need to act it. You know, so right now, you know, on social media, you know, it's very popular for Christians of all denominations to be, you know, there's a lot of infighting right now, you know, Catholics to Protestants, Orthodox to evangelicals. You know, there's a lot of infighting, and it's one thing, you know, to defend your specific faith, you know, your specific denomination, the apologetics and what you believe with church tradition and all that. That's one thing. But you should do so in a way that Christ called us to. You should do so with humility and love and meekness, and peace. You can defend your faith in a loving Christ-like way, not in a way that you get triggered and you have to get the last word. You know, that's doing more harm than good. You're not acting and looking at all different than anybody else in the world. That's not Christian. You know, I saw someone in the gym the other day that I know to be very public with calling themselves a Christian, and they were wearing a very, very offensive shirt that had a very, very explicit bad word on it, curse word on it. And, you know, with that, you know, other people are looking at them as a representative of Christ. And if you're not, you know, if you're not looking different than the world, then what does the rest of the world have that they, you know, look at us and want? You know, if we are not having actual true light come out from us, true light and love come out from us, why would anybody want to convert to being a Christian? You know, we see this right now, especially with, you know, new converts. You know, there's a new convert zeal that is amazing. It's beautiful that when someone finds the truth, they want to spread the message. And so they, you know, go to their family, or they go to other people they know that don't believe in it, but they almost force it down their throat in a very argumentative, almost poking, abrasive way. And that's not going to do any good. You know, the only way we're going to, you know, make real positive change and really spread the message of Christ is if we behave as if Christ called us to. So first off, we should have the mentality and the heart posture that everything we do, from how we walk, how we talk, you know, how we move about the world, that we do everything as if we are in the presence of God. You know, if we do that already, that's going to completely change how we speak, how we talk, how we behave. but we should remember what Christ actually called us to. So one beautiful thing that's very powerful is, constantly meditating on Christ's Beatitudes. So the meek shall inherit the earth. The merciful shall obtain mercy. Peacemakers will be called the sons of God. We should think on, in Matthew 5, the Beatitudes that Christ gave us, and actually do what Christ called us to do. His two greatest commandments, Christ's two greatest commandments, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love others as yourself. Others being, fellow Christians of the same denomination, other denominations, and then non-believers. Actually love others. Christ called us to love our enemies, to forgive. Ultimately, we should strive for humility and meekness, meaning that we don't need the last word. If someone's arguing us, maybe we shouldn't even be arguing in the first place. But if we are, maybe that means don't get the last word. Maybe just, be humble. We should treat everybody with love. If we do that, that is how we are actually going to spread the message. I have a friend right now that he struggles a lot with arguing people online, arguing the faith online, especially to non-believers and atheists. He's very passionate about the faith, and so he struggles with sometimes getting heated and getting triggered and getting in arguments. And there's been many times where he's caught himself lately where he, instead of needing to get the last word, or instead of, having to win the fight or the argument, he takes more of a position of, let me hear this person out, and taking very much a humble position. And when he does that, almost every time he's done that, the other person then goes ahead and softens and starts asking questions about the faith. That is how to do it. It's not trying to shove the argument down someone's throat. We need to behave in a different way than the rest of the world, and that is what people will be seeking for. They're seeking for light in a very, very dark world, but we actually have to represent and be that light, or it's just not going to come. My patron saint, Saint Seraphim of Seraphim, he said, one of his famous quotes is, "Acquire the spirit of peace, and thousands around you will be saved." This is something that, first off, we shouldn't have like a fake softness. We see this with a lot of Christians will almost have a fake humility. We don't want that. We want actual true inner transformation to happen, and that's what people will gravitate to. So what we should do is we should focus on our own sanctification. We should focus on our own seeking after Christ, seeking after God, seeking to love God more with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, seeking to love others as ourselves. And if we focus on ourselves and our own seeking after God, then there's actually going to be an inner transformation, that there's going to be true humility, true meekness, and true love come out that is intangible, and people absolutely will gravitate to. You will see this within your own life, that if you truly start focusing on your own seeking after God and seeking after what Christ has truly called us to, not just, trying to, overly express and overly argue Christianity, but actually be a Christian, be what it means to be a Christ follower. That is where you're going to see so much change happen with people around you. You'll see it within your family members. I've seen this within mine. One, I pray for people around me all the time that I know personally, that if they're not currently walking in the light, then I pray for them to love God. Lord God, help this person come to love you with all their heart, soul, mind, and strength. I've seen that prayer alone, have a lot of weight, and it's changed a lot of people. And I'm already seeing this with so many people that I've consistently been praying for, that you would think, knowing them and what they believe, that there would be no chance they would ever come into walking in the light, and there's a lot of transformation that's happening. But then too, as you focus on your own sanctification, you'll see other people around you gravitate to that. So I want to finish off with an encouragement from Romans 12. So in Romans 12, 14, it says, bless those who persecute you, bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice, and weep with those who weep. Be of the same mind toward one another. Do not set your mind on high things, but associate with the humble. Do not be wise in your own opinion. Repay no evil for evil. Have regard for good things in the sight of all men. If it is possible, as much as depends on you, live peaceably with all men. So we need to focus on being what it means to be a Christ follower. To fellow Christians, and especially to non-believers, we need to act with love, and we need to strive for true humility, true meekness, and what it means to be a Christian. Don't just call yourself a Christian, and you know, wear that proudly, and then literally you don't act like it. You listen to the same music as the rest of the world. You talk as the rest of the world. You have foul language. You need to be representative of the name you're wearing. You know, it is a heavy weight, so let's bear it. Let's wear it well. So I hope this encouraged some of y'all out there. If it did, leave any comments or questions down below for me. All glory to God. God bless you, and have a great rest of your day.